Hey everyone, as some of you pointed out, I haven't really put up many videos lately, and there's a good reason for it. Between work and a couple of vacations, just haven't had a lot of time to do much flying in the past couple of months. But this weekend, finally had a chance, and I decided I'd go up for a short flight just to do some practice approaches and rip around a little bit in the practice area. Sadly, it wasn't meant to be. When I was coming back from Nashville about a month ago, I had a problem with one of my brakes and I had to get it fixed. And at the time, the mechanic on the field had said that he thought there was a problem with the cylinder, but he bled the line, refilled it, and everything seemed to be okay. But the problem resurfaced this morning as I was taxiing out to do my run-up. Thankfully, I saw the problem as I was taxiing and I was able to scrub my flight. If the problem hadn't occurred until after takeoff, then that could have been pretty disastrous. I mean, as it was, at taxi speeds I could barely turn right at all, and if that had happened on landing, I could have ended up in the grass, or worse. How you doing? Right brake's not working. Yeah. I didn't want to risk taxiing back to the hangar, which would have required a couple of hard right turns. So I shut it down where it was, and luckily Mo, who owns the maintenance organization that takes care of Oscar, happened to be right there, and he pulled me back into my hangar. So no flying video to share today, unfortunately, but I'm going to share something that's a bit of a departure from my usual fare. A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I went to Curacao for a diving vacation. Now, I know most of you don't like watching my diving videos, but bear with me because we actually got to dive at the wreck of a crashed Cessna 172, and I thought it might be interesting to share that with you guys. The legend behind this crash is that a young kid took off in his father's plane without permission, got in the plane with his buddy for a little bit of sightseeing, and promptly crashed it into the sea. But when I went to do some research into the crash after the dive, the closest thing I could find was something from back in 1994 when a student pilot actually took off in one of his flight school's planes without permission with 3 of his buddies on a bit of a joyride. They flew north from the airport in Curacao and ended up crashing into the side of a cliff. The plane didn't crash into the ocean. Unfortunately, all 4 of them perished. Ultimately, that plane was actually taken apart, taken over to the sea, and deliberately sunk to create a bit of an artificial reef over time. There's not a lot of the plane that's actually at the dive site, but you can see the frame from the cabin here. And about 20 feet away from the frame of the cabin is the rear elevator, which actually seems to be in pretty good condition. You can see the entire rear elevator. Nearby that is a little bit of sheet metal from the fuselage, but that's really about it. They didn't seem to include the wings when they sunk the plane parts. And the parts that are here aren't really in the shape of a plane. I don't know if they just kind of sank them ad hoc or if some wave action from some storms just moved the parts around, but it's pretty haphazard. Either way, it was cool to see. It was an eerie but kind of fascinating dive. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are interested in more scuba diving and other videos, just follow this octopus over to my other channel, M&K Adventures, where I'm going to be sharing videos about our diving, hiking, and just other trips to various places. The link's in the description below. I'll see you in the next video, which will be back to my usual flying fare. In the meantime, fly safe, and dive safe.